This is Jonathan Cahn. Welcome to my YouTube channel. When you look at what's happening in the world, it's easy to wonder what's going on, and are things out of control? Is this what the Bible foretold? Is the end near? What do I need to know about the future? Where's it all going? How can I be prepared? What is God's prophetic word for the hour and for me? On this channel, you're going to find prophetic updates, the mysteries of God, daily words for life, biblical revelation, prophetic teachings, and much more. I pray it's going to be a great blessing to you in the days ahead. So be sure to hit the subscribe button and tap the bell icon so you're notified every time there's a new video that's posted. Leave a comment as to how God is blessing you. And don't forget to share these videos with friends who need to hear them. Thanks again, and God bless you. Shalom.
There are moments in history when time is no longer neutral. There are seasons when heaven opens and the earth must respond. June 2025 is not just another page on your calendar. It is a spiritual gateway, a divine appointment, etched in eternity, now knocking on the door of your destiny. We live in a world that sleeps through prophecy and slumbers through warnings. But I tell you this, those who are awake in the Spirit will discern what June truly means. You were not born by accident. And this word today, it is not for the casual listener, not for the lukewarm believer. It's for the one whose heart has been stirred in the midnight hour, the one who has wrestled in silence, the one who feels something is about to break but cannot explain it. There was a woman I knew who had been waiting on God for 10 years. In June of a certain year, she felt an unusual urge to fast for 7 days, not knowing why. On day 6, she got a phone call. A job she never applied for opened miraculously, and it became her gateway into her purpose. June, it's a pivot month. A man once lost everything in May. His home, his job, even his marriage. In June, broken and alone, he cried out to God on a park bench. That moment became his altar. Within 6 months, he was leading a men's ministry that helped thousands. Don't judge your June by what may look like. God doesn't need your momentum, He needs your surrender. Here are 5 things you must do in June to unlock God's favor. Consecrate the first day. Fast, pray, and give God the first fruits of the month. Write your vision plainly. What do you sense God stirring? Journal it. Align your relationships. Disconnect from what drains you. Reconnect with what fuels your fire. Guard your mouth. Speak only what God says. Life and death are in your tongue. Watch for signs. God will confirm this word in small and large ways. Stay alert. Time is not random. We look at clocks, we look at calendars, but God looks at seasons. What we call ordinary months. He often calls appointed times. And June, this upcoming June, is not to be treated lightly. For to those who have eyes to see and ears to hear, this June is not just another mark on the wall. It is a portal. It is a spiritual doorway through which destinies will either be fulfilled or forfeited. In the ancient Hebrew world, the months were tied to the movement of God. The feasts weren't man's invention, they were God's appointments. The 3rd month, which corresponds to our June, was the month of divine visitations. It was in that month that Israel reached Mount Sinai, where thunder shook the heavens and the voice of God shattered the silence. And just as God once descended on the mountain in fire, He still moves in seasons and He still speaks in moments of divine intersection. Some people live as if every day is the same. They sleep through seasons, ignoring the rhythm of the Spirit. But others, those who walk closely with God, can feel it when the atmosphere shifts. Something about June carries a weight, a pull, a holy trembling. The heavens are aligning. The earth is being stirred. And those sensitive to the Spirit can feel it coming. There are times when God simply observes, but then there are times when He intervenes. This June is not a month of observation, it is a month of divine intention. Things that have remained stagnant will begin to shift. Situations that seemed sealed will begin to open. Prayers that echoed without answer will suddenly find their reply. But only for those who are watching. Only for those who are prepared. You see, God doesn't operate on our timeline, and He doesn't pour out favor just because we want it. Favor must be met with readiness. Heaven is preparing to release favor. Yes, favor, the supernatural empowerment of God's grace to accomplish what flesh cannot. But here's the danger. When favor arrives and we are not aligned, we miss it. We think favor is a feeling, but it is a call to responsibility. It is not always comfort. Ask Mary. Ask Noah. Ask Joseph. Every one of them found favor, but it led them into storms, prisons, trials, and the uncomfortable place where heaven touches earth and man is stretched beyond his ability. The angel told Mary, "You have found favor with God." But favor didn't look like a crown, it looked like a scandal. It looked like carrying something no one else understood. Favor often isolates before it elevates. And so it will be in June. The favor of God is not coming to make you popular, it is coming to make you purposeful. It will pull you away from things that you clung to in the past. It will make you question what you thought was necessary. It will demand that you say yes to what others call foolish. Favor is not for those who are simply praying for blessings. Favor is for those who have surrendered their will. June is bringing decisions. God is placing open doors in front of His people, but those doors require obedience. There will be moments where you feel the impulse to move, to change, to act, to step into something unfamiliar. That is not chance. That is divine guidance. But you must be sensitive, because the same door that brings favor can close if ignored. And this is the danger missing your moment. Don't be like Jerusalem when Messiah came. He wept over them because, as He said, you did not recognize the time of your visitation. That word visitation means divine encounter. Heaven showed up. God walked into the city, and they missed Him. Could it be that heaven will visit your life this June and you're too busy scrolling, too distracted by noise, too weighed down by fear? This favor is not coming for the talented or the successful. It is coming for the surrendered, for the ones who have been crying out in private, for the ones who have kept faith alive in the dark. The oil in your jar, the prayers, the perseverance, the tears, they have not been wasted. They were preparations for this moment, and when favor meets preparation, everything changes. So I say this now with urgency, not for emotional effect, but because the Spirit compels it. June is not just another chapter. It is a gate. Walk through it, and you will see the evidence of God's hand like never before. But delay, and the sound of opportunity will fade into silence. Now is the time to align. Now is the time to obey. Because favor is coming, and only the ready will receive it. There are seasons when what's hidden beneath the surface begins to rise. Just as spring reveals what winter tried to bury, there comes a time when the unseen becomes visible, when masks fall off and motives are exposed. And this is one of those seasons. June will not just be a month of opportunity, it will be a month of revelation, and what has been hiding in the shadows will come into the light. But hear this clearly, exposure is not always judgment. Exposure is also vindication. The Lord is not only revealing the false and the fakes, He is revealing the faithful. The world sees only what is loud and polished. But heaven sees what is done in secret. Every silent prayer, every midnight tear, every quiet act of obedience, when no one applauded, heaven recorded it. And now the Spirit is saying, I will bring to light what man has not seen, and I will honor what I have witnessed in secret. There are people listening to this right now who have lived under the weight of hidden struggles. You've battled anxiety behind a smile. You've carried grief while keeping others strong. You've held on to promises no one else believed in. And you've wondered, did God forget? Does He see me? Yes, He sees. And this is the time when your hidden faith will speak louder than other people's public performance. But make no mistake, this revealing comes in the midst of shaking. And the shaking will come. The world will call it chaos. The news will call it instability. But the remnant will know this is the hand of God realigning the foundations of His people. Hebrews says that everything that can be shaken will be shaken, so that what cannot be shaken will remain. This June, systems will shake. Institutions will tremble. Relationships will be tested. Not because God is angry, but because God is merciful. He will not allow you to keep building your life on sand. He will not let you place your hope in things that can fall apart. So He shakes to awaken. He disturbs to deliver. You may feel like everything is being uprooted, but child of God, this is not destruction, this is divine repositioning. You are being moved not to lose, but to align. God is shaking your comfort zone so He can place you in your calling. He is removing the props you leaned on because they've been limiting your growth. And the moment you stop resisting the shaking is the moment you start receiving the blessing. Look at Joseph. Everything around him was shaken. His family betrayed him. His status was stripped, his freedom taken. But each shaking led him closer to the palace. What others called misfortune, God called movement. And the same is true for you. If the ground is shaking under your feet, it may be the very evidence that heaven is setting you in place for something far greater. But beware, not everyone will endure the shaking. Some will run back to old habits. Some will cling to what God is trying to remove. Don't be among them. Yield to the hand of the potter. Let Him break what was never meant to be whole. Let Him remove what was never meant to remain. The shaking is not here to destroy your life, it's here to save it. So when the pressure comes in June, don't fear. When things feel uncertain, don't retreat. Lift up your eyes, because God is not just shaking your surroundings, He's strengthening your spirit. He's tearing down what kept you from Him and building up what will carry you into your next assignment. And in the middle of it all, your hidden faith, the faith nobody saw, will become your banner. It will rise from the ashes. It will shine through the storm. It will prove that though everything shook around you, you did not fall because you were held by something greater. There are seasons when God doesn't just move in your life, He reorders your steps. He takes the blueprint you've clung to, the plans you've carefully drawn, and He rewrites them in fire. Not because He is cruel, but because His ways are higher than ours. And that is exactly what this June carries, a divine redirection. You thought you were heading one way, but the Spirit is about to take you another. You assumed the door in front of you was your future, but it was only a hallway. The path you thought would define you was only a place of passage, not a promise. When Abraham left Ur, he did not have a full map. He had a word. Go to a land I will show you. That's it. No coordinates, no timeline, just obedience. And yet that obedience created a nation. That is the same call now, to let go of the need to understand and instead cling to the command to obey. You don't have to see it clearly to walk faithfully. If God is asking you to move, then move. If He's shifting your career, your relationships, your priorities, don't resist. Because divine redirection is never meant to harm you. It is a rescue disguised as disruption. Some of you have been walking in circles, not because you are disobedient, but because you've been afraid to pivot. You've prayed for God to bless your steps, but He cannot bless a direction He didn't ordain. He is not obligated to bless your plans. He blesses His will. And when He sees His child on a path that leads to spiritual barrenness, He intervenes. He disrupts. He closes doors you begged Him to open. In the moment, it feels like loss. But in reality, it's mercy. You cannot ask for divine purpose and cling to personal preference. You cannot ask God to lead you and then complain when He leads you into the wilderness. Every wilderness in Scripture was not a punishment, it was preparation. Moses, Elijah, John the Baptist, Yeshua Himself all faced the wilderness before stepping into power. So if God is leading you away from comfort, it is because He's leading you into calling. The redirection of June will not always feel spiritual. It will show up in conversations, in endings you didn't anticipate, in a restlessness that won't let you stay where you are. Pay attention to the discomfort. God speaks through what you can't ignore. He will dry up resources that were never meant to sustain you. He will allow certain connections to break, not out of cruelty, but because they can't go where He's taking you. And if you stay attached to what He's trying to remove, you will delay the breakthrough you've prayed for. This is not a season for explanations. This is a season for movement. When the cloud lifts, you move. When the fire shifts, you follow. When the whisper comes, you obey not tomorrow, but today. You will not have all the answers, but if you follow the voice, you will find the path. And in this movement, in this divine shaking and shifting, God is doing something else. He is positioning His people for their divine assignments. You weren't born randomly. You didn't survive the battles of your life by accident. Everything the enemy tried to use to break you, God is about to use to release you. Your wounds will become your wisdom. Your scars will become your strength. The tears you cried in isolation were watering the soil for your future. But assignments are not handed out casually. They are entrusted, and only to those who have been refined. God doesn't use the polished, He uses the purified. This is why some of you have faced pressure that doesn't make sense. It's because the weight of your next season required it. God had to crush your pride. He had to strip your idols. He had to prove Himself as your source, not your job, not your platform, not your plank, not Him alone. There is a remnant rising in June. Not a crowd, not the popular, but the purified. Those who have said, not my will, but yours be done. Those who have laid their dreams on the altar and said, if it burns, let it burn, but give me your presence. These are the ones who will step into kingdom purpose. Not church attendance, not religious activity, but real, eternal impact, the kind that shakes nations, the kind that topples idols, the kind that rewrites bloodlines and births revival. So when the redirection comes, embrace it. When the divine assignment is revealed, accept it. This is your moment. You have been hidden, broken, pressed, refined. But now the time has come. This June, heaven is calling your name. And the ones who say yes will never be the same again. You were not meant to stumble through life. You were born for such a time as this. June is not your enemy. It is your entrance. It's not the end, it's the beginning. Heaven is not confused. God is not pacing the floor of eternity. He knows exactly where you are. And He is saying, draw near to me now, and I will draw near to you. Prepare, for the time of favor has come. So I ask you now, will you treat June like every other month, or will you treat it like a door? Because doors don't stay open forever.